The hospital bracelet digs into my wrist as I shift Lily in my arms, trying to get my key into the lock. It won't turn. I try again, my fingers trembling from exhaustion and the lingering effects of painkillers. Still nothing. Come on, I whisper, jiggling the key harder. Lily stirs against my chest, her tiny face scrunching up in protest. 3 days old and she already has her father's frown. My phone buzzes in my coat pocket. Chase's name appears on the screen and relief floods through me. He must have seen me on the doorbell camera. The text message is 4 lines long. I've changed the locks. I've filed for divorce. Don't try to come in. My lawyer will contact you. I read it 3 times, each word hitting like a physical blow. The diaper bag slides off my shoulder, landing with a soft thud on the porch. Our porch. The one Chase insisted we needed when we bought this house 2 years ago. This isn't happening, I say out loud, but my voice sounds foreign, distant. Lily whimpers, picking up on my distress. I bounce her gently, muscle memory taking over while my mind spins out of control. I press the doorbell, once, twice, 3 times in rapid succession. Nothing. Chase, I shout, loud enough that Mrs. Peterson next door peeks through her curtains. Open the door. Silence answers me, but his car is in the driveway. He's in there, probably watching me through the security cameras he installed last summer, watching his wife and newborn daughter standing locked out of their own home. My phone buzzes again. Stop making a scene. Go to your parents. You coward. The words tear from my throat. You couldn't even face me? Couldn't wait until the stitches healed? More curtains twitch along the street. The perfect suburban tableau. The unhinged woman screaming on the doorstep, clutching a newborn. I can already imagine the neighborhood gossip, the pitying looks, the whispered conversations. Lily starts crying in earnest now, her tiny fists balled up against my chest. The sound cuts through my rage, replacing it with something colder, harder. Okay, baby girl, I murmur, kissing her forehead. Okay, we're going. I managed to pick up the diaper bag with one hand, my body protesting every movement. The hospital discharge papers had emphasized rest, recovery, bonding with the baby. They hadn't mentioned what to do when your husband locks you out 3 days after giving birth. My hands shake as I dial my mother's number. She answers on the first ring. Ren? Honey, aren't you supposed to be home by now? Mom? My voice cracks. Can you come get us, please? Us? What do you mean? Where's Chase? I look at our bedroom window, where the curtain definitely just moved. He's inside. He changed the locks. He wants a divorce. The silence on the other end stretches for several heartbeats. Your father and I are leaving right now, she says finally, her voice tight with controlled fury. Don't move. I end the call and look down at Lily, who has settled into hiccuping sobs. Her eyes are squeezed shut, her face red with effort. She looks nothing like Chase, I realize with sudden, fierce gratitude. She's all me. My nose, my chin, my dark hair. It's just us now, I tell her, sinking down onto the porch step. My body aches, inside and out, but something else is building beneath the pain. Something that tastes like metal and promises. But don't worry, Daddy's going to regret this. Every single day for the rest of his life. Behind me, the curtain twitches again. Let him watch. Let him wonder. He has no idea what I'm capable of, but he's about to find out. My childhood bedroom feels like a time capsule, frozen in the amber of teenage dreams. Sitting on the narrow twin bed, I watch my mother rock Lily while my father paces, his work boots leaving scuff marks on the carpet he promised to replace 15 years ago. He can't do this, Dad says for the 10th time. You just had a baby, for Christ's sake. Tom. Mom's voice carries that familiar warning tone. Not now. I trace the faded outline of an old band poster on the wall, remembering how Chase had laughed when he first saw this room. It's like a shrine to your youth, he'd said. Now I wonder if he'd been mocking me even then. I need my things, I say, surprising myself with how steady my voice sounds. My clothes, Lily's nursery stuff, everything we bought for her. Dad stops pacing. I'll go over there right now. No. The word comes out sharper than intended. He's probably expecting that. Besides, he's already texted twice saying he'll call the police if anyone tries to enter the house. Mom's face hardens. That little language, I remind her, nodding at Lily. She's already learned the F word from Dad's outburst in the car. The attempt at humor falls flat. Mom shifts Lily to her other shoulder, and I catch a glimpse of my daughter's peaceful face. She's the only one sleeping soundly tonight. Remember when I told you he was controlling? I say, picking at a loose thread on the bedspread. How he wanted me to quit my job because one of us should be home with the baby. Dad's hands clench into fists. Should have seen it then. The way he isolated you. Tom? Mom interrupts again, but gentler this time. Ren needs solutions, not recriminations. My phone buzzes. Another text from Chase. Your mother's car is still in our driveway. Move it or I'll have it towed. Our driveway, I mutter. The house is in both our names. I checked the deed when we bought it. Mom and Dad exchange a look I can't quite read. There's something else, I say, the words bitter in my mouth. Something I never told anyone. 3 months ago, when I was on bed rest, I found something on his laptop. The rocking chair creaks as Mom leans forward. What was it? Emails, dozens of them. To someone named Emma. My throat tightens. They were intimate. But when I confronted him, he said I was being paranoid. Hormonal. That stress wasn't good for the baby. Son of a... Dad starts, but Mom cuts him off with a sharp look. And you believed him? She asks carefully. I wanted to. The admission hurts. God, I wanted to. We had the nursery already, and the doctor said any stress could trigger early labor, and I swallow hard. I convinced myself I was wrong. The silence that follows feels heavy with unspoken accusations. Not against me. My parents would never, but against themselves. Against Chase, against the whole situation. My phone buzzes again. This time it's Linda, Chase's mother. We need to talk. Chase says you're being unreasonable. Call me. I turn the phone face down. His mother thinks I'm the problem. Always has. Linda can go. Dad starts. Tom. Mom's exclamation startles Lily, who whimpers in her sleep. We all freeze, waiting to see if she'll wake fully. She settles after a moment, and Mom continues in a whisper. We need a plan. A lawyer, first thing tomorrow. I nod. But my mind is already racing ahead. Beyond lawyers, beyond divorce papers. To the laptop I'd seen Chase carefully pack in his briefcase every morning. To the emails I'd only skimmed before guilt and fear made me close them. You're right, I say. We need a lawyer. But first, I need to get back into that house. Ren. Dad's tone is warning. Not to stay, I assure him. Just long enough to get what belongs to me. And maybe? I let the thought trail off, but I can feel something crystallizing inside me. Something cold and precise like a surgeon's blade. Mom studies my face for a long moment. Whatever you're thinking, she says finally. Be careful. Men like Chase, they don't handle losing control well. I meet her gaze. Good, I say. Because control is exactly what I'm going to take from him. The coffee shop across from Chase's office feels like neutral territory, though my hands shake as I watch Emma approach. She's exactly as I remember from the company Christmas party last year. Tall, confident, perfectly put together. The kind of woman who never has spit up on her blouse or dark circles under her eyes. I wasn't sure you'd come, I say as she slides into the seat across from me. Emma sets her phone face up on the table, screen dark. I wasn't sure I should. Her voice is steady, but her fingers drum against the table's surface. Chase told everyone at work you had a mental breakdown after the baby. The words hit like a slap. I focus on stirring my untouched coffee. watching the cream create patterns in the dark liquid. Did he mention changing the locks while I was still in the hospital? He said you left him. Her eyes narrow slightly. That you took the baby and refused to come home. A laugh bubbles up in my throat, bitter as the coffee. Is that what he told you? Want to see the texts? Before she can answer, her phone lights up. Chase's name appears on the screen. Emma's hand twitches toward it, but she doesn't pick up. How long? I ask quietly. 8 months. She won't meet my eyes. He said you were distant, that the pregnancy was straining your marriage, that you didn't want. I was on bed rest. I cut in. With preeclampsia, fighting to keep our baby alive while he was. The words stick in my throat. Her phone buzzes again. This time, she turns it face down. He's checking up on you, I observe. Does he do that a lot? Something flickers across her face. Recognition, maybe. Or fear. You don't know him like I do. No, I agree. I thought I knew him better. The barista calls out another order, making Emma jump. Her composure cracks just for a moment, but it's enough. I see what I came looking for. He's controlling, isn't he? I keep my voice gentle. Wants to know where you are, who you're talking to. Gets angry when things don't go his way. She stares at her hands. You don't understand. He's under a lot of pressure. The merger at work? The Morrison deal? Her head snaps up. How did you— I used to work in marketing, remember? Before Chase convinced me to quit. I lean forward. Tell me, Emma, does he ever ask you to help with sensitive information? Client details, maybe? The color drains from her face. I should go. He's using you, I say softly. Just like he used me. And when he's done, stop. She stands abruptly, grabbing her phone. This was a mistake. Emma. I reach for my bag, pull out a manila envelope. Before you go, these are copies of emails I found. Between Chase and the Morrison Group's CEO, dated 3 months before the merger was announced. Her hands shake as she takes the envelope. Inside trading is federal crime, I continue. So is using privileged information from a romantic partner to facilitate it. She sinks back into her chair. How did you— Chase isn't as careful as he thinks. Not with his laptop password, not with his affairs. I push my coffee aside. He's going to destroy you, Emma. The only question is whether you let him. Her phone buzzes again. This time, when she looks at it, I see tears in her eyes. What do you want? She whispers. Your help. I pull out another envelope, thicker than the first. These are all the emails between you and Chase. Every meeting, every promise, every lie. I'm going to send them to Linda, his mother, to his boss, to everyone. You'll ruin him. No, I correct her. We will. Unless he gives me what I want. Full custody of Lily, the house, a fair settlement. I meet her gaze steadily. And a written confession about the Morrison deal. Emma's phone buzzes one final time. She stares at it for a long moment, then turns it off completely. Tell me everything, she says. I smile, feeling the pieces of my plan click into place. I thought you'd never ask. The first contraction hits while I'm sorting through the evidence against Chase. My mother finds me doubled over my laptop, breathing through gritted teeth. It's nothing, I tell her. Just afterbirth cramps. She takes one look at my face and picks up Lily from her bassinet. I'm calling Dr. Reynolds. Mom, I'm fine. You're not fine. Her voice carries that familiar steel. You haven't slept in 3 days. You're obsessing over those emails instead of recovering. Your body is telling you to stop. The pain subsides, leaving me shaky. On my screen, dozens of emails between Chase and Emma blur together. 8 months of lies, of carefully orchestrated meetings, of promises I now know he never intended to keep. My phone lights up with a text from Linda. Family dinner tonight. No excuses. We need to discuss the situation like adults. She still thinks she can fix this, I mutter, showing Mom the message. Linda always did prefer fantasy to reality. Mom shifts Lily to her shoulder, studying me. Like mother, like son. Another contraction rips through me, stronger this time. I can't hide the grimace. That's it. Mom grabs my phone. I'm calling. A knock at the door cuts her off. Through the window, I glimpse Chase's Tesla in the driveway. Don't, I warn as Mom moves toward the door. He's not supposed to be here. Good. She hands me Lily. Then I can tell him exactly what I think. Mom. I cradle Lily close, breathing through another wave of pain. Please, let me handle this. She hesitates, then nods. I'll be right upstairs. Chase doesn't wait for an invitation after she opens the door. He strides in like he owns the place, all Brooks Brothers suit and careful casualness. You met with Emma, he says without preamble. Hello to you too. I focus on Lily's warm weight against my chest, using it to steady myself. Missing your girlfriend already? His jaw tightens. Whatever she told you. She showed me everything, Chase. The lie comes easily. The Morrison deal, the insider trading, all of it. Color drains from his face. You're bluffing. Another contraction hits. I turn away, using the moment to hide my reaction. Want to risk your career on that bet? You can't prove anything. Can I? I meet his eyes. Your laptop password is still Lily's due date. Did you really think I wouldn't figure it out? He takes a step forward. If you breathe a word of this, you'll what? The pain makes my voice sharper. Lock me out again? Try to take my daughter? Go ahead. See what happens when I send those emails to the SEC. You wouldn't dare. But there's fear in his voice now. You'd destroy everything. Our savings, Lily's future. You destroyed that when you changed the locks. Another contraction, worse than before. I grip the back of the couch. Get out. We need to talk about this. Get out. He moves closer instead. You're not thinking clearly. The hormones? Don't. The word comes out as a gasp. Don't you dare try to... The room tilts suddenly. I hear Mom calling my name from upstairs, feel Lily being lifted from my arms. Chase's face swims in my vision, concern replacing anger. You're bleeding, he says. And for a moment he sounds like the man I married. Jesus, Ren, The world goes dark around the edges. The last thing I see is Chase reaching for his phone, panic finally cracking his perfect facade. This changes nothing, I try to say, but the words slip away as consciousness fades. I wake to hospital lights and my mother's worried face. No Chase, no Lily. Where? I start. She's fine, Mom says quickly. Dad has her. The doctors say you pushed yourself too hard. The stress, the lack of sleep. Chase? Her expression hardens. Gone. But he took copies of your files first. The monitors beep faster as realization hits. He knows I was bluffing. Knows I don't have proof yet. Mom, I whisper. I need my phone. She hands it over wordlessly. One new message from Emma. He knows, but I have something better. Something real. Meet me tomorrow. I close my eyes, feeling the game shift beneath my feet. The stakes just got higher, and I'm running out of time. Emma's hands shake as she slides the USB drive across the diner table. Outside, rain pelts the windows, turning the world into a gray blur. My stitches still pull when I move, a constant reminder of last week's hospital stay. He'll know it was me, she whispers, glancing over her shoulder at the nearly empty restaurant. No, he won't. I pocket the drive without looking at it. As far as Chase knows, you're still his loyal girlfriend. Her laugh sounds hollow. Girlfriend? Is that what he calls me? Among other things. I keep my voice neutral, studying her face. Linda mentioned you at the hospital. Said Chase was planning to introduce you to the family soon. Emma's expression crumples. He told me he already had. A waitress approaches, but I wave her away. What's on the drive? Everything. Emma wraps her hands around her untouched coffee. The Morrison deal was just the beginning. There are offshore accounts, shell companies, client information he shouldn't have access to. My phone buzzes. Chase's name appears with a text. Where are you? We need to talk about Lily's custody arrangement. He's getting desperate. I murmur, showing Emma the message. You don't know the half of it. She leans forward. Yesterday, he asked me to sign some documents, backdated contracts, making it look like I was involved in legitimate consulting work. Setting you up to take the fall. She nods, tears threatening. Just like his last assistant, the one who suddenly resigned and moved to Seattle? The pieces click into place. How many others? 3 that I know of. All women. All gone within months of major deals. She wipes her eyes. I thought I was different. My phone buzzes again. This time it's Linda. Having dinner at our house tonight? 7 p.m. No excuses. Time to end this foolishness. They're closing ranks, I say, more to myself than Emma. They think they can still control this. Chase says his father has connections at the SEC. Emma's voice drops even lower. That nothing will stick, even if the diner's door chimes. Emma freezes mid-sentence, face draining of color. I turn to see Chase's father, Greg, stepping inside, shaking rain from his umbrella. He followed me, Emma whispers. Oh God, Leave. Now. Back door. I slide out of the booth, positioning myself between her and Greg's line of sight. I'll handle this. She hesitates. The drive? We'll be safe. Go. I watch her slip away as Greg spots me, his practiced smile never reaching his eyes. Ren. He approaches my table like this is a casual encounter. What a surprise. Is it? I gesture to the seat across from me. Or did Chase's tracking app tell you exactly where to find us? His smile tightens. You're making this harder than it needs to be. Am I? Tell me, does Linda know about the other women? Or just the ones Chase brought home? You're upset. Hormonal. He leans forward, voice dropping. Think about Lily. About her future. Chase is willing to be generous. Generous? The laugh bubbles up before I can stop it. Like he was with his last assistant? The one who resigned? Greg's facade cracks just for a moment. Be very careful, Ren. Some accusations can't be taken back. My phone buzzes one final time. Chase again. Dad says you're being difficult. Don't make this messier than it needs to be. I stand, ignoring the pull of stitches. Tell your son I'll see him in court. And Greg? That tracking app works both ways. Tell Chase to check his phone's location history for the night before Lily was born, specifically the Marriott downtown. His expression confirms what Emma told me about Chase's other girlfriend, the one even she didn't know about. This isn't over. Greg calls as I head for the door. No, I agree, thinking of the USB drive burning a hole in my pocket. It's just beginning. Outside, the rain has turned to thunder. Perfect weather for what comes next. Linda's dining room feels like a courtroom, with Chase at one end of the table and me at the other. Lily sleeps in her carrier beside me, oblivious to the tension crackling through the room. The USB drive weighs heavy in my pocket, a loaded gun waiting to be fired. We're here to be reasonable, Linda says, passing a casserole dish that no one touches. To find a solution that works for everyone. Especially Lily. Greg adds, his warning from the diner still fresh in my mind. Chase hasn't looked at me once since I arrived. His attention stays fixed on his phone, thumbs typing rapidly, probably messaging Emma, who hasn't responded to any of his texts since our meeting. I have a solution, I say, keeping my voice steady. Full custody of Lily, the house, and Chase's resignation from the firm. Water sloshes as Chase's hand jerks, knocking over his glass. You've lost your mind. Have I? I pull out my phone, scroll to a specific email. Should we discuss the Marriott? Or maybe the offshore accounts? Greg's fork clatters against his plate. Linda freezes mid-reach for the salt. You're bluffing, Chase says, but his face has gone pale. You don't have anything. Room 847. I meet his eyes for the first time. The night before I went into labor. You weren't at a client meeting, were you? That's enough. Linda cuts in. Chase, what is she talking about? Nothing, he snaps. She's desperate, making things up? Like the Morrison deal? I pull out the USB drive, set it on the table between us. Or the shell companies? Or what happened to your last 3 assistants? The silence that follows feels like glass about to shatter. You talked to Emma. Chase's voice has gone dangerously quiet. Someone had to. He laughs, the sound sharp and ugly. You think you've won something here? That you can threaten me? Chase. Greg warns, but Chase is already standing, looming over the table. You want to play this game? He pulls out his own phone. Fine. Let's talk about your medical records. The medication you're on. The hospital visit last week. How stable do you think you'll look to a custody judge? My hands start to shake. You wouldn't... Or maybe we should discuss your family history. The depression, the anxiety. His smile turns cruel. Did you know postpartum psychosis runs in families, Mom? Linda gasps. Greg reaches for Chase's arm, but he shakes it off. One call to child services. Chase continues. One suggestion that you're not fit. Lily wakes with a cry, startled by the tension in the room. I reach for her automatically, but Chase is faster. Don't touch her. He snatches the carrier away. In fact, don't come near her. Not until we've had her evaluated, made sure your instability hasn't... That's enough. Linda stands so quickly her chair topples backward. Chase, stop this immediately. But the damage is done. The room spins as Chase's words sink in. He knows exactly where to hit, which fears to exploit. One phone call, one suggestion of instability, and everything I fought for could vanish. You're right, I whisper, surprising everyone, including myself. I'm not stable. I'm angry, hurt, betrayed. I meet Chase's triumphant gaze. But at least I'm not a criminal. Before anyone can react, I grab the USB drive and my phone. Check your email, all of you, including the board of directors at Chase's firm. I sent everything 10 minutes ago when I sat down. Chase lunges for his phone, but it's too late. The notifications are already flooding in. You'll never see Lily again, he snarls, clutching the carrier closer. Maybe. My voice breaks as I back toward the door. But neither will you once the SEC finishes their investigation. I turn and walk out, my daughter's cries following me into the night. It feels like leaving part of my soul behind, but I know it's temporary. Chase might have won this battle, but the war is just beginning. And I finally learned to fight as dirty as he does. The SEC agents arrive at Chase's office exactly at noon. I watch from across the street as they enter the building, their dark suits stark against the glass doors. My phone hasn't stopped buzzing since dawn. Calls from Linda, from Greg, from Chase's lawyer. I ignore them all. Emma meets me at the coffee shop downstairs, her face drawn. They're questioning everyone. The whole trading floor is shut down. Good. I check my watch. How long until... The building's fire alarm cuts me off. Employees stream out onto the sidewalk, many still clutching their phones and laptops. Chase emerges last, flanked by 2 agents. Even from here, I can see the fury in his stride. He's looking for you, Emma whispers. Let him look. As if hearing us, Chase's head snaps up. Our eyes meet through the crowd. For a moment, I see the man I married. The one who held my hand through fertility treatments. Who painted the nursery 3 different shades of yellow until we found the perfect one. Then his lips curl into a snarl and the illusion shatters. You ruined everything, he shouts, shoving past the agents. You stupid vindictive. Mr. Harrison. One agent grabs his arm. We're not finished. The hell we're not. Chase wrenches free, stalking toward me. You think this makes you powerful? You think you've won? Emma shrinks back, but I stand my ground. Where's Lily? Safe. Away from you. His laugh sounds unhinged. You'll never see her again. I've made sure of that. Ice slides down my spine. What does that mean? It means I protected my daughter. From you. From your instability. He leans closer, voice dropping. Check your email. The emergency custody order just went through. Based on your concerning behavior. My hands shake as I pull out my phone. The legal document fills the screen, words jumping out like accusations, mental health concerns, family history, recent erratic behavior. You can't. I can. I did. His smile widens. And while you were playing detective with your little USB drive, I was moving assets. Good luck proving anything now. Something clicks. The offshore accounts. You transferred everything? Everything. He straightens his tie. The SEC won't find anything, and you won't get a penny, but hey, at least you got your revenge, right? The agents approach again, more insistent this time. Chase turns to go, triumphant. You forgot something. I call after him. He pauses. What? The video. I hold up my phone. Of you, just now. Admitting to moving assets during an active investigation. And this... I pull out a second USB drive. The real evidence. Everything Emma gave me was a copy. Did you really think I'd send the originals without backup? The color drains from his face. You're bluffing. Again. Check your phone. The video's already uploaded to your family's group chat. Hi, Linda. I wave at my mother-in-law, who stands frozen across the street, her own phone in hand. I thought you should see who your son really is. The agents are close enough now to hear everything. One reaches for the USB drive. The other takes Chase's arm again, firmer this time. Oh, and Chase? I step closer, voice soft. That custody order? My lawyer filed an emergency appeal an hour ago, with testimony from your other girlfriends. All of them. Even the ones I didn't know about until Emma did some digging. His facade finally cracks. You can't prove. Watch me. The agents lead him away, past Linda's shocked face, past the crowd of whispering employees. Emma touches my arm. What now? My phone buzzes with a text from my lawyer. Appeal granted. Emergency hearing in 1 hour. Bring everything. Now, I say, watching Chase's retreating back. I get my daughter back, and he learns what it feels like to lose everything he loves. Was it worth it? Emma asks quietly. The revenge? I think of Lily, of the life Chase tried to steal from us. Ask me tomorrow, after I hold my daughter again. The sirens fade into the distance as I head toward the courthouse, leaving the ruins of Chase's carefully constructed world behind. The house key slides into the new locks with a satisfying click. Behind me, Mom carries Lily's car seat while Dad lugs boxes from the moving truck. The afternoon sun catches the fresh paint on the front door. No more of Chase's preferred beige. This shade of blue is all mine. Last box, Dad announces, setting it down in the foyer. Unless you want us to stay and help unpack? I shake my head, watching Lily sleep in her carrier. We've got this. Right, little one? Mom hesitates by the door. The hearing tomorrow is just a formality. I manage a smile. Chase's plea deal included supervised visitation only. He's not fighting it anymore. Not since Linda testified about finding his hidden phones, the ones with evidence of all his affairs. Not since Greg admitted to helping hide the offshore accounts. The Harrison family's carefully constructed facade crumbled faster than anyone expected. Emma called. Mom says carefully. She's testifying at the SEC hearing next week. I know. I run my hand along the wall, already planning where Lily's photos will go. She's braver than she thinks. Dad clears his throat. That marketing firm called again, about the position. Dad, just think about it. You were good at your job before. He trails off, but I hear the unspoken words. Before Chase. Before I let someone else define my worth. I will. I mean it this time. But right now, I need to focus on Lily, on making this house a home. They leave reluctantly, Mom kissing Lily's forehead, Dad squeezing my shoulder. The door closes behind them, and for the first time in weeks, it's just us. I carry Lily upstairs to her new nursery. The walls are still bare, waiting for memories we haven't made yet. Her tiny hand wraps around my finger as I lift her from the carrier, and something in my chest finally loosens. My phone buzzes. Linda's name appears on the screen, but I let it go to voicemail. Whatever amends she's trying to make can wait. The last text from Chase sits unread. I never meant to hurt you. As if intention changes anything. Lily stirs, her eyes opening, my eyes in a face that's becoming more her own every day. No trace of Chase's carefully calculated expressions or controlled smiles. Just us now, I whisper, settling into the rocking chair. But that's okay. We're stronger than he thought. A car door slams outside. Through the window, I glimpse Emma getting out of her SUV, carrying files for tomorrow's hearing. She waves up at me and I wave back. Another unexpected alliance forged in the ruins of Chase's deceptions. The doorbell rings, but I don't rush to answer it. Emma has her own key now. Another symbol of how much has changed. How much I've changed. Your mom called, Emma says when she finds us upstairs. Wanted to make sure you're really okay being here alone. I'm not alone. I nod toward Lily, then Emma. And this isn't the house Chase built anymore. It's ours. She studies my face. No regrets? About any of it? I think about Chase in his prison jumpsuit, about Greg's resignation from the bank's board, about Linda's tearful apologies, about all the women who came forward once the first domino fell. Only one, I say finally. That I didn't see it sooner. That I let him make me doubt myself for so long. Emma sets the files down, pulls out a familiar USB drive. The lawyers say we won't need this anymore. Want to do the honors? I look at the small device that helped topple Chase's empire. At Lily, sleeping peacefully, secure in a world where her father can't hurt her. At Emma, who found her strength in helping others find theirs. Keep it, I tell her, as a reminder that the truth always comes out. Eventually. She slips it back into her pocket as Lily begins to fuss. Outside, the moving truck pulls away, leaving us to build something new from the ashes of what Chase destroyed. Not a fairy tale ending. Not even close. But maybe something better. Something real, earned through fire and fury and the quiet strength of women who refuse to break.